Hi, this is Linda back with Talking in American English. This is lesson 29. I'm going to talk mostly about these verbs that sometimes or often get confused. Lie with one meaning, lie with another meaning, and then the verb lay. So I'll be giving an explanation of how they are used and some sentences using those three verbs, and also an explanation of why even native American English speakers get them confused. So we'll start with them, and I've got posters up here I'll take down one at a time. Then at the end, I will do a quick review of the pronunciation of the short E and the short I, because in lesson 28, I talked about short A and short O and short U, which are the hardest vowel sounds to make that are short. We have the long sound and the short sound. These are not as hard, but there are a few mistakes made there, so I'm just going to give you some help with those at the end of the conversation about lie, lie, lay. So let me begin by taking down the first poster. Here we have the three verbs in a sentence to show the difference. You lie. You're not telling the truth. You lie down. You're stretching out. You lay it down. Lay always has a direct object. Lie never has a direct object. You don't lie something. You can lie about something, but you don't lie something. So it doesn't have a direct object. This one does. So what's the difference? Let's look at the forms. The first one, you lie, lie, lies, lying, lied, lied. You can tell this is a regular verb because it ends in ed in the fourth form, the past without a helper, and lied, ed, the fifth form, which would be in the past with a helper, a general past. And all of these mean saying what is not true. But then we have this verb lie, lies, lying, lay, laying. It means to stretch out somewhere. You can lie on the beach. You can lie on the floor. You can lie on the bed. There are many places you lie, you stretch out. You can even talk about an object. The spoon lies on the table beside the plate. It's stretched out there. It's not doing anything. It's just lying there. Then we have this verb, lay, lays, laying, laid, laid. It almost sounds like a regular verb, but it doesn't end in ed, so we call it an irregular verb. I was sick last week and my voice isn't quite back yet, so I sound a little bit hoarse, but I'm sorry about that. Anyway, this verb means put, and you always put something somewhere. So this is a different verb. It still means putting something somewhere, and this one is something is somewhere, and this is telling a lie. So now we're going to look at each one individually in a different way. Lie, when you're saying something that is not true. Lie, lies, lying, lied, lied, regular verb. Normally, we can just say lie, or often we add when, where, why, or about what. That's not a what, that's an about what, which is an adverb, prepositional phrase, adverb. We lie, that's a simple sentence, no adverbs. I lie sometimes, I added when, but these are both first form verbs. And here's second form. He often lies about being late. That's what he lies about, but it's not what he lies. He often lies about, preposition phrase, being late. They are lying. Why? To hide the truth. She lied where? In class. You have never lied. That's when. I could say you have not ever lied. Or I could say you have never lied. If I use never, then that's the negative word. If I say ever, then I need a not. You have not or you haven't ever lied. We talked about the difference between that one time before. Now let's look at the next one. This is the lie that means to stretch out flat. Lie, lies, lying, lay, laying. It almost always adds a where. We do that probably because if you just say, I lie, sounds like you're not telling the truth, and we don't want you to think that. So we say where, and you know you mean this lie. We lie down. I lie on the couch, or on the beach, or on the floor, so many places. He lies. This was lie first form. This is lies second form. He lies on the floor. It lies there. They are lying down. Maybe they need a nap. Earlier, she lay on the bed. This is fourth form. It's past with no helper. You have lain down. It's in the past. It has a helper because I'm not telling you when exactly. Here, we pretty much know when. Here, we don't know when, but it's already happened. So that's lie, lies, lying, lay, laying. And although we don't have to, we almost always say where. But there is no direct object with this verb. Now let's look at the next one. This is the one that has to have an object, and it usually means the same thing as put. You put something somewhere. We put the pen on the box. It needs an object. Its forms are lay, lays, laying, laid, laid. It has a sound all the way through. Remember, lie had lie, lies, lying, lay, laying. So it used lie part of the time, the I sound, and a part of the time. This uses a all the way through. And it has an object that answers the question what, could be who, but it's usually what, and then maybe where. I lay the pen here when I finish my work every day. So this is present. It's first form. I lay the pen here when I finish my work every day. He, every day, he lays, this is second form, the car keys in the tray. Every day when he comes home from work, he lays the car keys in the tray. Direct object, car keys. They are laying the money on the table. They have nickels, dimes, quarters, and they lay those coins on the table. She laid the baby in the crib. What or who? She laid the baby in where? The crib. We have laid the blanket on the bed neatly. Laid what? Blanket. Where? On the bed. How? Neatly. You can add adverbs, but you have to have a direct object. Direct object. Direct object. Direct object. Direct object. When you use lay, lays, lay, lay, lay. Now let me go back to this one that we've already done. to show you why we get it so mixed up. For one thing, we don't like to say that we lie. Sounds bad. You're not telling the truth. I might say, I'm going to lay down. Should be, I'm going to lie down. But we don't like to say the word lie because it sounds like this one, so we say lay down. And we borrow from this one. So that's one reason when we're trying to say this one, we borrow from here and say lay instead of lie. But when we're not telling the truth, we always use this one. No problem. You're not telling the truth. It's lie, lies, lying, lied, lie. But when you're stretching out, we don't want to say lie, so we switch to lay sometimes. And that's very confusing, and it is wrong, but you will hear it all the time. If I try to say, I am going to lie down, sometimes it sounds like I'm trying to show off that I'm so correct, because almost everyone will say, I'm going to lay down. We like this one better, even though it should be that one. And also, another reason why we get them mixed up is lay, lie, lies, lying, lay, laying, is also this verb. It's the first form, anytime verb, for this form of putting something somewhere, and it is the fourth form of this verb. So it's easy for us to mix them up, and we do it a lot. Now let's look at some sentences that use all three. Each time the first sentence will be not telling the truth, the second sentence will be stretching out, and the third sentence will be putting something somewhere using lay. So it's lie, lie, lay. I say first form and second form. They're really all second form, but this second form uses a helper, so it's borrowing the first form and putting it with does. Does has the S for the second form. And then lays has the S for the second form. Okay. Does your child ever lie? I hope not. Does your child lie down to sleep easily? Stretching out. Your child lays, puts dirty clothes on the floor a lot. They shouldn't do that. The man is lying, not telling the truth. The man is lying down. These are third form, meaning right now. The man, I had to mark out that Y because I accidentally put it there. It doesn't belong. The man is laying his notebook on the table. He's putting it. It has a direct object. Fourth form means it's the past, but a more specific past. The woman lied about her age. Women do that a lot. The woman lay on the beach yesterday. That's the fourth form of stretching out. That started with lie, but in the fourth form it's lay. The woman laid the clothes, direct object, putting it there. The woman laid the clothes in the clothes basket. Well, that's good. They will get washed. The child has lied about what happened. The child didn't want to tell you the truth. Lied. The child has, these are all fifth form with a helper. The child has lain, stretched out on the cot for a long time. The child has laid his paper, direct object, on the teacher's desk. Those are examples of using lie, meaning not telling the truth, lie, meaning stretching out, and lay in some form. Lay means putting something somewhere. I hope that helps. Now let's move on to the little bit about the two short vowel sounds. Okay, short I. Some students who don't make that sound in their own language want to change the I sound to a little bit wider. It's almost an E. They say, children, sit still and listen to him. It is interesting, isn't it? If it hits the middle, you win. If it's win, it's not right. We don't say E. We don't say E. It's I. You drop your mouth open a little bit more, but it's almost an E, but your mouth closes a little and opens just a little more. Listen to me read it the way Americans say it. Children, sit still and listen to him. It is interesting, isn't it? If it hits the middle, you win. There's a target. You want to hit the middle. If it hits the middle, you win. And the short E is E. Most people say it correctly in the word yes. Don't make it sound like a long A. It's not Helen, it's Helen. Helen gets the best bread when they sell it. Now this one, because of the Y, almost turns it into a long A, because you have to go up for the Y sound. They starts sounding like they. Very little difference, but most of the time the E that's short, you can tell it's E, not A. Yellow metals are heavy. Where is the exit? Everyone guesses it's next to the elevator. Elevator, not elevator. Elevator. So if you work on these sentences saying eh and eh, you'll be understood better. I hope that helps.